Hello Year 12s and welcome to Term 2 Online. In case you've forgotten me, my name is Miss Curry and I'm your music teacher. I've been your teacher since Year 7. Here I was going to do some sort of inspirational speech on how we've been together now for almost 6 years and we're going to do some really great things. I'm not great at inspirational speeches, so just write one yourself and then give me credit for it. Okay. With keeping with innovations for this semester, this term we're going to be doing innovations in tonality. Okay, so today we're just going to be doing a little bit of revision and talking about chords that you can use that are part of the major scale. Oh, and here's my title sequence. Okay, so I know that we've done this so many times before, but I'm just going to quickly do a recap on the major scale and how we can choose certain chords that we know will work well with our key. Because C major is the easiest, that's what we're going to do. So remember, to write your major scale, you've got tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Okay, and then we've got C, we go upper tone, D, upper tone again, E, upper semitone, F, upper tone, G, again, tone A, upper tone B, and then upper semitone, which will be C. Okay, the great thing is you don't have any accidentals with this key. If you did though, then you would have to make sure that while you're drawing the triads on top, you would have to include those. So I'm just going to quickly draw my triads, C, E, G, D, F, A, E, G, B, etc. Okay, and then I know that a lot of you guys have had this memorized for years and years and years, but in case you've written a chord and you're not entirely sure what type of chord it is, just remember 4 plus 3, oh here we go, semitones is a major chord, 3 plus 4 is minor, 3 plus 3 is diminished, and 4 plus 4 is augmented. Okay. So that would make this chord C major, we've got D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and then with C major at the top. Okay, so that means that in Roman numerals, in a major key, you will always have 1, 4, and 5 as major, and then 2, 3, 6 are minor, and then 7 is diminished. Okay, now just remembering that primary chords are always going to be 1, 4, and 5. So now I'm going to play you a piece of music where it only uses primary chords. An example of a song that uses only primary chords is Happy Birthday. And because we've got a lot of you guys that are having birthdays while we're off in isolation, insert your name here, or sing at your computer screen. Okay. So we've got chord 1, which is C, and then chord 5, which is G, chord 5 again, back to chord 1, and then we've got F, which is very interesting. It's very simplistic. Okay, so back to our chords here. Primary chords, they can sound a little basic, so let's add in some auxiliary chords to make a more interesting piece of music. So auxiliary chords are everything else. So we've got 2, 3, 6, and 7. So now I'm going to play you a piece of music that uses a combination of primary chords and auxiliary chords. A song that uses auxiliary and primary chords is Friday I'm in Love by The Cure. This song is too low for my range, so I had to move the last part up a little bit. I don't care if Monday's blue, Tuesday's grey, and Wednesday too. Thursday, I don't care about you. It's Friday, I'm in love. So we're in the key of D major here. We've got chord 1, and then chord 4. 1, Now that we've looked at primary chords and auxiliary chords, we're going to learn a little bit about secondary chords. Secondary chords aren't any of these, but they relate to your tonic key. Secondary chords usually are part of the subdominant 4, dominant 5, or the relative minor, which is 6. So I'm just going to write relative here. Okay, so create this table for your 4, 5, and 6, and then you'll work out some secondary chords that will work well within your composition. So let's start with the relative A minor. So we've got A minor here, and then we need to work out its relative, and then 4, and then 5. So it's subdominant and it's dominant. So A minor's relative we already know is C major, our tonic key. 4 is D minor, and 5 is E major. So let's create this table for our subdominant. So we've got F major. We need to work out its relative, subdominant, and dominant. So F major's relative is D minor, its subdominant is B flat, and its dominant is C. And then our last one that we're going to work out is the chords that relate to the dominant key, which is G major. So we'll write the relative, subdominant, and dominant. G major's relative is E minor, subdominant is C, and dominant is D. If you notice down here, there's a lot of chords that are the same as up here, but the new chords that have been introduced by doing these tables are E, B flat, and D. So now let's look at a piece of music that uses secondary chords. The last song that we're doing is 7 Days by Sting. I'm sure that you've heard it a lot of times because it's one of my favourite songs. He uses secondary chords really, really well. So this is the chorus, the verse starts and it's in C major. So when we get to the chorus, we start on chord 4, which is F. And then we go to chord 5 of chord 5, which is D. And then we go to G, which is chord 5. That's what we call a secondary dominant. So you go from chord 5 of 5, D, to chord 5. And then we've got chord 5 of the relative minor, which is our E chord. I'm playing an E7, he's got an E7 written here. We're going to talk about extensions in another lesson, so don't worry. E. And then we've got A minor, which is chord 6, F4, G5, our E7 again, and then that is chord 5 of the relative minor, and then it goes to the relative minor. So another secondary dominant over there. Chord 1, but with the 7th. And then back to minor 6, chord 1 again, and then back to a hop. Now this one's a bit tricky. I could not work out how an F minor major 7 worked within the key of C. This is our Sunday be too late. And our F minor major 7 doesn't belong to any of the secondary chords, but its chord 5 is C. So it's still related to the tonic. And Sting is just a very incredibly smart, very good composer. Welcome to the end of the lesson. That means that we are doing trivia. There was a theme for all of the 3 songs that I brought in today, so this piece of music fits within that theme. You get 1 point if you get the song title, and you get another point if you can get the artist.